Plastic Pollution and International Environmental Law. We are students from the International Environmental Law course, and today we will talk about the global problems of plastic pollution. I'm Xin Ke, my metric number is 298452, and I will be the moderator for this podcast. I will share the real life case study and good practice from countries like Norway, the European Union and Kenya. So joining me today are my amazing teammates. So let them to introduce themselves.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Hayati, my metric number is 300049. So today I want to talk something super important, which is plastic pollution and what the world is doing about it. So I pass over to Adam.
Okay, so hi and Assalamualaikum, my name is Muqrish bin Aziz and my metric number is 300949. So today I would like to talk about the overview of legal framework about plastic pollution. So I will pass it to my friend.
So hello everyone, my name is Wei Qing and my metric number is 300257. So I will talk about the current trends in dealing with plastic waste. So now I will pass it.
So hi everyone, my name is Nur Auni Syahirah, binti Azmi. My metric number is 298078. So I am the one who conclude everything and I will talk about the policy recommendation for plastic waste. So I pass back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you for your guys' introduction. Okay, now let's start by understanding the root of the issue.
So I want to talk about the background of plastic pollution. We use plastic every day, right? Like bottles, bags, and food packaging. But here the problem, when we throw plastic away, a lot of it ends up in the ocean. Did you know that every year like 8 to 10 million tons of plastic go into the sea? That's a crazy amount. And guess what? 80% of all marine pollution is plastic. Marine animals like turtles and fish, they eat plastic thinking it's food, and sadly some of them die with their stomach full of it. It really messes up, and it does not stop there. Over time, plastic breaks into tiny particles called microplastic. These things are so small you can't even see them, but they are now in drinking waters, seafood, and even in our bodies. Scientists have already found them in humans, and they are concerned it might be linked to cancer, heart disease, and other serious health issues. Now here, when it's become a global issue, plastic does not stay in one place. It floats across ocean, crosses borders. So it's not just one country problem; it's everyone problem. There are even rule in international law called the no harm principle, which say countries should not harm other country environment. But with plastic pollution, it's super hard to hashtag. And guess what? We still don't have a strong international law that properly handle plastic pollution from start to finish. There are few agreements like MARPOL and Basel Convention, but they only cover a specific area. That's why people are now pushing for a new global treaty that exactly strong and legally binding. Also, not all countries are on the same level. Rich countries have more money and system to deal with plastic, while poor might struggle. That's where the CBER principle comes in. It stands for common but different treated responsibility. Basically, it means wealthier countries should take more responsibility and help out. So plastic pollution sounds small, but it's a huge deal. It affects our ocean, animals, and even us. But if the world works together, there are still time to fix it. Alright, that's all from me.
Thanks, Hayati, for the insightful overview. Now that we understand the scale of the problems, so let's look how the world is responding regularly. So now Adam was explain about it.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to talk about the overview legal frameworks of the frameworks that use in plastic pollution. So I want to ask you, the moderator, have you ever heard about MARPOL or Basel Convention?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so what's your thoughts on both of the legal frameworks?
I think it's like the plastic pollution.
Yes, it is more like to prevent plastic pollution that happening around the world nowadays. As we all know that nowadays plastic are so scattered around the world, so it can cause some effects. So basically for our sea. So basically I want to explain about MARPOL, which is more precisely Annex 5. As we all know that MARPOL actually has 6 annexes, but in our case we will use Annex 5 because it is more to plastic pollution. Okay, so basically MARPOL Annex 5 is an international convention that focuses on preventing pollution from ships by regulating the discharge of garbage into the sea. So it aims to minimize pollution by restricting the types and amounts of garbage that can be discharged and specifying the distance from shore where certain types of garbage can be disposed of. So the most significant aspect of Annex 5 is the complete ban on the disposal of plastic, including plastic bags, synthetic fishing nets, and plastic garbage bags into the sea. So basically, in MARPOL Annex 5, it explains about what can be disposed to the sea, because as we all know that plastic can cause harm to the sea, so they want to prevent it and they give some sort of like quantity that can we put to, we throw to the sea, like we cannot just simply just throw it at the sea. So I have read about this one article where it says that you can only they give you like certain amount of what you can dispose, and so that you will not damage the sea. So that's for MARPOL Annex 5, and for the second one is the Basel Convention. So the Basel Convention is an international treaty focus on controlling the cross-boundary movement or hazardous waste and other waste and ensuring the environmentally sound management. Its aim to protect human health and environment from the risk posed by hazardous waste. So the convention was adopted in 1989 and entered into force in 1992. Okay, so we can see that both Marpol and Basel Convention are essential but not sufficient. Growing momentum is building towards a legally binding global plastic treaty. Currently under negotiation through the UN Environment Assembly, such an instrument could address the full life cycle in plastics. So we can see that both legal framework actually, it is a measure point where a set of rules where people need to follow, and if like a certain country did not follow, maybe they will cause a lot of consequences, such as maybe in terms of economy, maybe other country will not support you. So to stay safe, I think better for people to follow the legal framework that provided by the international organization. So in conclusion, I think Marpol Annex 5 and the Basel Convention form the backbone of current international plastic waste regulation. But as plastic crisis rises, so must our legal policy response towards stricter enforcement, deeper cooperation, and ultimately a plastic agreement. So that's all for me.
Thank you, Adam. Just now, Anna already explained what is the Marpol, Annex 5 and Basel Conventions. And then now is Wei Qing want to present the current challenges during the plastic waste. So I got some questions what to ask you. So for the first question is, what is the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas, UNCLOS, and why does it matter? Can you explain a little bit about this?
Okay, so the UNCLOS, also just now Xin Ke already said it, so stand for the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. So it was adopted way back in 1982 and became international law in the 19th. So think of it like a master rule book for how countries can use and protect the world's oceans. So now, one part of UNCLOS that stood up to me is the part talk about protecting the marine environment. So it's basically said, hey country, if you are causing pollution, whether from land, sea, or even the air, you got to get it under control. So that includes everything from oil spills to trash from rivers to emission from ships. So countries are supposed to make law that match international standard to deal with this. Sound great in theory, right? So the second segment is talk about plastic. So here's the catch. UNCLOS does not specifically mention plastic pollution. That surprised me. Plastic waste, microplastic, fooding those land that were not top of mind in the 1980s. And even though Article 194 says it must reduce pollution from land and sea activities, it does not have sharp, enforceable rules around plastic. So while the law set a stage, it's kind of up to each country to decide how seriously they take it. Some do a great job, others not so much.
So thank you very much to explain. So I got the other question is, what for the regional approach is like the EU, European Union versus the ASEAN? How do you can explain about a little bit about this?
Okay, so from the different regions handle this differently. So the European Union has taken a pretty strong stance. They ban things like plastic straw, foam containers, and by 2029, every European Union country is supposed to collect at least 19% of plastic bottles. That's impressive. So they also have rules to label product with microplastic and recycle more plastic packaging by 2030. Experts say this could lead to a 30% drop in marine litter by then. That's real progress. Then there's ASEAN, Southeast Asian country working together voluntarily through things like the Bangkok Declaration. They're focusing on improving waste system and reducing plastic in a region that contribute a huge amount of oceans plastic globally. But here's the difference because ASEAN approach is not legally binding, so depending on how much money on political view a country has, implementation can be hit or missed.
So what is this missing? Can you explain?
So here the biggest issue, we got a bunch of different treaties and action plans, but they are not fully connected. Some cover pollution from ships, other looks at cross-border plastic trade, but not one's really regulating plastic production itself on a global level. And let's not forget microplastic from our clothes, our tires, our toothpaste that's still flying under the radar in most international laws. Right now, the United Nations is working on a global treaty that they could finally connect all these dots. It is works. It could slash plastic waste by 50 by 2040, but of course there's tension. Some oil-rich economy are pushing back against limits of production, while developing countries need funding help to upgrade waste infrastructure.
Yes. So what is your take about this?
Okay, Okay, so for my tag, I will be honest to say I used to think ocean pollution was mostly about bigger bugs at the beach, but it's way deeper than that. It's about how we design, produce, sell, and manage plastic all around the world. And right now, we do have a solid universal rule for that. So UNCLS was a huge step forward, but it's just a foundation. We need to keep building, and hopefully, this new treaty will be a game changer.
So thank you, Wei Qing, to ask me question. Okay, thank you, Adam and Wei Qing. Now I will share about the 3 case study that show different way to fight the plastic pollution. So for the first one is the Norway, a leader and global leader. So Norway may look like a green country, but still make around 1.5 billion plastic bottle every year. Where is the special in that Norway take actions at the homes and also help other countries. In 2018, it started a program that gave over $200 billion to help developing countries and manage the plastic waste at home. Norway has strong law and a deposit system that recycle 88% of water. Globally, Norway will work with Rwanda to lead the high emission coalition to end plastic pollution. So this is showing the leadership both locally and internationally. So for the second case study is European Union strong law and clear goal. So the EU show how the law can bring the real change. In 2019, it passed the single-use plastic directive to ban the things like plastic straw and a container. It also used the extended produce responsibility, which means like company must help clean out the waste they create. And then the EU will set target like water must have 25% recycled plastic by 2025 and 20% by 2030. So countries that don't meet the goal may face the penalties. So some countries like Australia are doing very well, but others like the Romania are slower. So still the EU show the strong law and share the responsibility both. The last one case study is Rwanda and Kenya grassroots action. Rwanda and Kenya are doing great thing. Even with less money, Rwanda banned plastic bag in 2008 and later at the border and Katuri. They also have a monthly clean out day called Umuganda, where people help clean the community. And thanks to this, Kingari is now one of the cleanest city in Africa. Also, Kenya also banned the plastic bag in 2017 and later banned the plastic in park and beach. There are also bookings on recycling and making the companies take more responsibility. This country shows its strong law, community support, and government action, real change is possible. So what do this example tell us? Where is Norway, the EU, or Rwanda and Kenya? One thing is clear. To solve the plastic pollution, we need good law, strong actions, and everyone help. Now let's hear about Auni. She will share about our conclusions and recommendations.
So to conclude, plastic waste is a global crisis. Every year, up to 10 million metric tons of plastic flow into our oceans, making up nearly 80% of marine pollution. So microplastics are now found in seafood, water, and even in our bodies, and raising serious concerns for human health and food safety. Despite growing awareness, international efforts remain scattered and weak. So Marpol bans plastic dumping from ships, but most pollution comes from land and it doesn't cover for that. So the Vessel Convention tries to control plastic waste trade, but loopholes and poor enforcement make it ineffective. So UNCLOS expects countries to protect the ocean, but plastic are barely addressed. Even strong regulation in places like in the European Union are undermined by weaker commitments in other regions. It becomes worse because no treaty exists to regulate plastic from production through disposal. Microplastic, upstream pollution, and corporate responsibility are barely touched, and many developing countries lack the resources to manage plastic waste, making the crisis worse. But there are the success story. For example, Norway supports global negotiation despite being a major contributor. Other than that, in Rwanda and Kenya, strict laws and community engagement are working. So there is a hope. In 2022, UNEA Resolution 514 launched a negotiation for a global plastic treaty aiming to cut marine plastic by 50% by 2040. Proposals include national targets and a fund to support developing nations. And the problem is big, but with global cooperation, strong rules, and real support, we can turn the tide. So from my point of view, the policy recommendation that's suitable is we need a global plastic treaty and we need it now. Plastic pollution spans the entire life cycle of a product and the solution must do the same. So this treaty must include clear enforceable obligations for how plastic are made, used and cleaned up. So for voluntary measures are enough. So extended producer responsibility, or we call it EPR, must be central, making producer, not consumer or governments, responsible for plastic waste. That means better design, less packaging and more recycling. So equity must be a priority. The treaty should uphold common but differentiate responsibility by offering financial and technical support to developing countries. Without this, they can fully address plastic pollution and global progress doing so. Next, we must also confront microplastic and upstream pollution. Textile machines should filter plastic fibers, and harmful single-use plastic must be phased out. There are lessons to learn. For example, the EU's strong rules and Asia's collaborative effort show that flexible regional approach can work, and as long as the global goal stays united. Strong enforcement matters, but so does public participation. Programs like Rwanda's Uganda show how communities can lead. The treaty should support education, transparent reporting, and innovation. So finally, a global plastic pollution fund is essential to help low-income countries build systems, assess technology, and find better solutions. And if the world move together in law, trade, and action, we can end plastic pollution. Thank you.
Thank you, Auni sharing. Now we already know. Yeah. Thanks for listening to our podcast. We hope you learned something about the plastic crisis and how the world is taking it. Feel free to share this podcast and let's all do our part of a cleaner, greener future. Until next time, take care.